By far the biggest mistake people do is thinking that you can become a Salesforce developer on the Trailhead. No, it's impossible. Yes, you can learn some things on the Trailhead, but don't put too much faith into it. Trailhead doesn't have nearly enough training materials to become a Salesforce developer. The main reason for that is because Salesforce development is actually not one skill, it's two different skills. First it's coding and then it's programming. And you can't mix them up. You cannot try to learn programming first and then coding. Like this. What is the difference, you will ask? So let's take an analogy. You want to learn how to write a book. First you need to learn how to actually put words, right? And only then you can learn how to take the skill of writing words and make a story out of it, an interesting story that you can publish then. The same goes for coding, but when I say about storytelling and book writing, you would not want to start with the storytelling, right? Because you can't. And the same goes for programming. You cannot start with the programming. First you have to learn coding. So what is coding? Coding is basically learning how to speak in machine language. You need to learn all of the stuff like what is a loop, what is a variable, what is class, object, how can I loop over a list. And only once you learn it, you can start with the programming. So when you already have your coding knowledge, you can take your coding knowledge and apply it on the real world. And coding might be just one of your tools that you will be using to solve real business problems. So programming, it's solving real business problems with coding skills. So when you're starting, focus on the left part, focus on learning how to code. And the best part about learning how to code, it doesn't really matter in which language you learn. And this is why you can take developers and basically switch them between different industries. If you're once a developer in Salesforce, then you will pretty much easily learn how to be a developer in Java or front-end developer. Because you have the skills of coding and you have a lot of skills of programming, so you only need to learn how to do it in other programming language. And Trailhead is absolutely not for learning how to code. It's already for people who have some coding knowledge and want to go and learn programming. So, hi, my name is Igor and I've been Salesforce developer for the last 4 years, and now I'm teaching people how to code. So that's why I can speak about it, because I saw quite a lot of people trying to learn to code, failing to learn to code, succeeding in learning how to code, becoming Salesforce developers, giving up, and all of that stuff. So here now I'm presenting the 5 mistakes that people do when they think about starting Salesforce development journey. The second mistake is not having a plan. If you don't know why and what do you want to learn, if you don't have a goal, you will not be able to achieve this goal. So when you want to learn Salesforce development, ask yourself why. Why do you want to learn it? And then ask yourself again, why go one level deeper, and then go one level even more deeper. And this way you can find your real motivation on why do you want to learn something. And then if you know this motivation, you can also kind of derive from this motivation, what does it actually mean for you? I've had so many students and so many people reaching out to me, and I asked them, what does it actually mean for you to become Salesforce developer or learn Salesforce development? And for all people, it means completely different thing. For some people, it means working full-time as a Salesforce developer. For some people, it means that you want to become an architect. For some people, it means something else. So if you know what it means for you, you can write a clear plan and you can write an actionable plan. And my advice from what I also see one of the mistakes is that people focus a lot on the outcome goals. So for example, I want to get a job as a Salesforce developer. This is the goal that doesn't depend on you. You cannot go against the market. If there are no vacancies in your city, well, it will be super hard to get a job. Instead, once you have a plan, you can focus on process goals and on performance goals. Process goals, it means that, for example, you set the goal that you will be studying Apex 1 hour every day. And performance goals, it means that you want to be able to write triggers. So you want to have some kind of achievement of what kind of skills do you want to have. Notice that those are not outcome goals. Those are goals that depend on you and you can influence them. For example, if you're born somewhere in Bangladesh, it's going to be much more harder for you to find a job in comparison when you are here in Germany, for example. Don't focus too much on those external goals, even though sometimes it makes a lot of sense, but don't focus on them too much. Focus on the internal goals, on something that you can actually influence. The third mistake is focusing on the wrong thing. And by the wrong thing, I mean everything that people say on the internet that you should focus on. like certifications, LinkedIn, YouTube, networking, and blah, blah, blah. That all doesn't matter as much as people write it on the internet. The only thing that actually matters for you to get a job, to be where you want to be, skills. That's the only thing. And to prove this point, I know it's very controversial. To prove this point, I won't make this imaginary exercise. So imagine one person, 5x certified, has 5 volunteer projects, 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. Nice, right? And imagine the second person. And the second person just is good in Salesforce development. And the second person says, hey, I don't have any certifications, but I'm actually good at building stuff on Salesforce. Hire me and I will be able to build the stuff that you want. And in fact, a lot of developers and the best developers that I've ever seen, they have 0 certifications. They have never posted anything online, but they have impressive records what they've done through the career. And yes, I know the market now is so hard for Salesforce professionals that you might need both. But the point is that the most focus that you should give is on developing the skills, and then let maybe 5% of everything else on telling about those skills, or maybe passing a certification. But this is the second, because if you have the skills, you will be able to find a job. Now, mistake number 4, and that was my mistake that I really ignored for quite a long time, is learning Git. So Git is there for making the life of developers actually easy, not harder. I know it's not easy to learn. I think I learned Git only 1 year into my Salesforce developer career, and I wish I learned it a little bit earlier in my career. And it blows my mind that people who want to become Salesforce developers, who want to learn Salesforce development, they don't learn Git, even though you will work with Git every time you write code. So if you write code every day as a junior developer, you will be working with Git every day. How can you not learn a tool that you will be using every day? How can you put it out for the better times if this is really one of the most important tools? And it's not that hard to learn. Yes, it's not easy to learn. It's not like you can watch a few tutorials and you're done. But it's also not that hard to learn in comparison to Apex or LWC. But people just ignore Git, like as if it doesn't exist. And I ignored it too. I learned it after 1 year, and after I learned it, my life became actually much better as a developer, because now I could understand how to manage my code, how to manage versions of my files. Mistake number 5 is not asking for help. And that was again one of my biggest mistakes that I've done. Something that I could not understand, that asking questions is normal. I wish I could just go back and scream on me is like, hey, asking questions is like completely normal. Because when you ask the questions, you kind of feel that you're exposing yourself for not knowing something. That's the thing. Not knowing something is completely okay. Not knowing something is just part of the journey. It's completely normal to learn, and there is not a single person on earth that knows everything. You will need to ask people, and once you start asking, you will see that there are actually a lot of good people, that the people, and especially the Salesforce community, is actually willing to help quite a lot. And you'll be surprised if you reach out to someone that the person might just help you just because we like to give back. So if you have some senior developer colleague, or if you have a mentor, reach out to them and ask the questions, and you will see that they actually want to help you. But also don't necessarily reach out to people who are 10 steps ahead of you. So if you ask, for example, a CTA how to become a junior Salesforce developer, yeah, most likely the CTA will not provide you with really awesome answer. But if you ask someone who just got their first job how to actually get the job, they can tell you what they've done. You will be amazed how much you can learn if you ask. Those were 5 mistakes. See you in the next one.